Hi, welcome to the flipped instructional session for Math 08A for Unit 309, Converting Equations to Slope-Intercept Form. Our objectives for today are to convert a linear equation in another form to slope-intercept form and to graph an equation that is written in slope-intercept form. Just a review, slope is the steepness of a line, and this is always m, and we calculate this y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is slope and b is the y-intercept. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. So we see that x and y are on the same side, whereas in slope-intercept, y is by itself. And finally, the y-intercept, which is always b, and it's where the line crosses the y-axis. So just to review, what is the slope and y-intercept of the equation y equals 2x minus 5? Well, we can see that this is solved for y. This takes the form y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept. So m is the slope, b is the intercept. So the slope in this equation is just 2. Not 2x, just 2. And the intercept, keep that sign with it, is negative 5. So I talked about this a little bit in our last session. When we graph, we start at the y-intercept, so start at negative 5. And then use the slope, and remember a whole number is that number over 1, so up 2 over 1. So up 2 over 1, there's our second point. And now we've graphed it. So that's why slope-intercept form is so nice. It's much easier to graph than forming a table, which is something we did earlier in this unit. So this, we see, it's asking us to convert to slope-intercept. So the first thing we need to understand is what is slope-intercept. We want to get this into y equals mx plus b. And the reason we do this is because knowing the slope and knowing the intercept helps us as we move forward in the class, because we use the slope and the intercept in those real-world applications. So we want to change this equation, move it around. Right now it's in standard form. We want to move it around until it's in slope-intercept form. So we need this to say y equals. And we use the steps we used in Unit 2 when solving equations. But this time we're solving for y. So the first thing we look for are parentheses, which there are none. Then we combine like terms on the same side. We can't combine anything. Now we start moving things from side to side using inverse operations. So we need to move this 3x. Remember, we don't want to touch anything that touches the y until everything else is moved. So we are going to move this 3x. This 3x, there's no sign in front of it, so it's assumed positive. This minus goes with the 5. So 3x is positive, so we minus 3x to both sides. That cancels over here, so we have negative 5y equals, now watch how I write this, negative 3x plus 15. I put this x term in front because in slope-intercept form, the x term's in front. So move that x term in front. We can't combine these, they're not alike. So far, so good. So now we need to remove this negative 5. Now remember, that doesn't mean we add 5. This is negative 5 times y. So we need to undo that by dividing by negative 5. So these cancel. And this is where we are, but we need to make it look like this. So we need to keep simplifying. So this is important. We need to simplify negative 3x over positive 5, or excuse me, negative 5. And we need to simplify 15 over negative 5. We need to make sure both of the things are simplified with the negative 5. So negative 3x over negative 5. Negative 3 over negative 5 reduces positive. 3/5 x. 15 over negative 5 is negative 3. So y equals 3/5 x. Make that a little bigger. Minus 3. Now it's in slope-intercept form where 3/5 is the slope and negative 3 is the y-intercept. So that makes, if I said just graph 3x minus 5y equals 15, you'd have to make a table of values, find 4 numbers. It'd be complicated. Here, y equals negative 3x minus 3. Now that we have it in slope-intercept, we start at the y-intercept, so start at negative 3. And then 3/5 means up 3. 1, 2, 3 over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's our line. Let's take a look at another one. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. So we need to understand slope-intercept form because we're going to learn another form in Unit 4. So y equals mx plus b. So we need to get y by itself. Don't touch anything by the y until everything else is moved. So we're going to subtract 8x, subtract 8x. So we're left with negative 2y equals, put the x term in front, minus 8x, we still have a minus 4. Don't drop your signs. Now remember, negative 2 times y, so we divide. We divide each thing. So negative 8 over negative 2 is 4x. Negative 4 over negative 2 is positive 2. To graph, we start at the y-intercept, which is 2. We use the slope, which is 4, which means 4 over 1. So we go up from this point. We go up 4 more over 1. There's our second point. And we're graphed. All right, convert the equation to slope-intercept form and then graph. So take a look, be careful. Again, we need to recognize slope-intercept form means y equals mx plus b. So we don't want to touch anything by the y until everything's moved. So we're adding 15. Those cancel. We have 5y. The x term was already in front here. So 5x plus 15. This time we're dividing by a positive 5. Y equals 5x over 5. This reduces to 1 over 1. So you could write 1x, but that is not normally how you see it. So if you get something like 1x, that's just x. 15 over 5 is 3. So we start at the y-intercept. Start at 3. Use the slope. Right here, this slope means 1 over 1. So up 1 over 1. And there's our line. The most important part is remembering to divide each term by that denominator. Look for the Flip follow-up session or help lab on your Class Connect schedule if you'd like to attend a live session. Thanks.